where's Jay's lover? I mean, sponsor. Is he going to send me the money, the guest pose in the Superman suit?
Look,
Lee Priest guest posing at the Mr. Olympia in Florida.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution. And we are back for another exciting episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and the Cal Pro weekend is in the history books. I'm joined today by Lee Priest and John Hansen to go over this show, do a little Heavy Muscle Radio. Chris Aceto will be joining us later. He is out in California. He was with Sergio Oliva Jr. this weekend, who was not able to win this show. A dark horse of dark horses, Ross Flanigin wins Cal Pro. John Hansen, what's your initial impression?
Well, Tonio looked a little bit off from last week, and the winner was a little bit harder, and he had really good leg development, and I think he looked like he was better than Tonio from the comparisons from the one they called the top two at the end of the prejudging.
We're going to talk about this and show all the comparisons. Lee Priest, when you see a relatively unknown guy,
don't ask me. I'm just here for comic relief. Don't ask me these serious questions.
Lee happens to be sick, but he decided to join us anyway. Thank you, Lee, for sucking it up. And if you go to the emergency room after, just keep
it's not that bad yet.
Oh, okay. You might have pneumonia. I didn't know I had pneumonia either until I actually got to the emergency room.
I got a sore throat, runny nose, diarrhea. So it's either the flu. The flu's going around, and so's the emergence of COVID again.
That's right. That's right.
But to make myself feel good, I just ate 2 hot dogs, so that could make me feel better.
Did you tell me your daughter had COVID?
Yeah, she got COVID again. Yeah.
Have you seen her since then? Since she had COVID?
No, I haven't. No.
He loves her, John, but not that much, right?
No, but it's like John said though, when I saw the pictures come up, and Tonio didn't look as crisp as he did, especially in the legs, as he did last week. So when there was the pictures of Tonio and the other guy, what's his name? Was it Ross or Ross?
Ross Flanigin, yeah.
Yeah. From the pictures anyway, he looked a lot sharper in that, even though Antonio is a bit more pleasing body to look at, but from the photographs, the other guy I thought was in better shape. And it was good seeing Sergio, even though he got there last minute. I think he still looked pretty good considering coming from Dubai and getting there and getting on stage in such short notice. So hopefully Sergio will do a couple more shows while he's out here. So out there. He's not here in Australia, but
Yeah.
Let me pull up some footage. John, when I see guys like Tonio Burton, who came into this show, off a New York Pro win last week, and I thought he looked, he wasn't the biggest guy in New York Pro history to ever win the show, but he delivered. He was polished. He has great shape and structure. He's like a Dexter Jackson, on the way up type of guy. And big mistake people make is they say, you know what, I was hard and I was shredded, but if I came in a little fuller, right? Because that's what they hear and the judges say, fuller. And what does that mean? Eat more. Don't take a diuretic. And then what happens? This is what happens. You come in a little too full, a little too, holding some water, and you get beat by, a journeyman, a guy who no one expected to win. I mean, this should have been Tonio's easy win here, and he left the door open. Why do guys do that, John?
Well, I mean, he had a great victory last week, and he was really perfect last week. I mean, he was dialed in perfectly. He was full, but he was really hard and striated. And it's hard to do 2 shows in a row. I mean, in all fairness to Tonio, it's hard to hit your peak, for two weeks in a row like that. And I'm sure he enjoyed himself a little bit after the contest. And you know how it is, you fill out, and sometimes it's hard to pull it back in, 1 week later.
John, come on, you've done shows week to week. I mean,
yeah.
If you have a show the following week and you don't go out and party, you know what I mean?
No, you have the best way to do it is you have one.
Unless you're Lee Priest, of course,
Even if I had shows back to back, I'll just have one big. Even if I had shows back to back, I'd only have one big feed that night of the show, and then if it was say that show was on Sunday, I'd eat big that Sunday night, but Monday I'd be straight back on the diet for the show the following weekend.
Yeah,
I love the fact that no one expected Ross to win the show, and he was able to come in here and win not because he's got the best structure or the best physique, genetically speaking. He worked the hardest. He came in here polished. He was shredded. He had a lot of muscle on his body. How will he do at the Olympia? Probably terribly. But you know what? The guy won a pro show, and he can tell people, I won a pro show, and I'm going to the Olympia. That's called busting your BUTT and raising, yourself above what anyone ever expected and achieving something great. And I don't know, maybe he will go on to be a great bodybuilder, but the fact that he was able to do this, I think, is a testament to the fact that, sometimes hard work and being at the right place at the right time, pays off.
What was his highest placing before this, Dave?
I think he did terrible. I know Dom Cardone coaches him. He did terrible, I think, last year because they were calling it the redemption. They kept saying redemption, from last year. So I don't know offhand what he placed, but obviously he didn't do as well as he would have liked. But I don't think he could have been any more peeled. I think they nailed it perfectly in terms of peaking his body and bringing in the best look they could. But you know what? To me, this show is a real letdown, and I'll tell you why. Sergio Oliva Jr., obviously, we'll talk about him in a little bit, placed there. He was the injection of energy into this show, which I thought was going to raise it up, but obviously he didn't deliver what he needed to as well. But why were so many guys who need to qualify for the Olympia missing from this competition? There's not that many more shows. I was looking at the schedule earlier. There's not that many more qualifiers before the Olympia. Where are they going to qualify?
Is next weekend? Is Toronto next weekend or?
I think so. Either next week or the weekend after.
And I saw Ian was on Fuad's show and he said it was like 10 days or so to Toronto. So that must be
right.
Must be the next one.
It doesn't sound like that's a big lineup either. I mean, there weren't a lot of in that one either.
I want to know where are these guys planning to qualify? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're going to wait.
There's a lot of guys who need to qualify.
Yeah.
They're all making YouTube videos. They're like, we don't have to compete now. We can just make YouTube videos and get paid.
Let's pull the schedule up here. So we have.
I think Crizzo's doing a show, right, in a couple of weeks. He's doing that one in Spain.
Oh, he is? Okay. There's all right. So we have the Cal Pro this weekend. Next weekend, like Lee said, is Toronto. But if the guys didn't compete this weekend, they're not going to compete next. There's not going to be that many new people next week, because it's only 1 week apart.
Right.
Then you have this Pro League West Coast Class. Oh, that's Masters, so that doesn't count. Then we have there's a show in Spain, a Pro League show on June 18th.
That's the one.
Which all these American guys are too lazy to go out there, so they won't do that.
Isn't there a Texas one too?
Yeah, I haven't got there. So we got Portugal, the big man on that's on July 9th. And then you got Vancouver. I think that's the one where Ian has won that a couple of times, right? That's July 14th. And then you got Chicago Pro. All right, that'll probably be packed on July 21st.
And then Tampa.
You got another big man. Oh, that's Masters, I think. Then you got Tampa, right, on the 8th, August 3rd. And then you got Texas the week after that. And that's it.
The Olympia's in November.
Then you got the Masters over in August, don't you, in Romania?
Yeah, but those are not qualifiers for the Olympia.
I thought they said the Masters. I thought they said the Masters winner would qualify to do the Olympia.
Oh, the winner? Okay, big deal. Who's going to win? Kamal? I mean,
you're so negative today, Dave. What's wrong with you? Negative.
I heard a little rumor. Well, I can't tell the story, but anyway. But
come on,
tease everyone.
I'll tell you. Some fan put up a tremendous amount of money to have a top level former Mr. Olympia,
Cutler.
compete at the Masters, and he said no. So
Cutler.
Somebody was saying. I heard. Was it Jay mentioned on the podcast? I'm not sure if he's joking. Jay said someone offered him $1 million.
Oh, so that he mentioned it? Okay, I didn't know if I was allowed to say that, but yeah.
So was it true? Was it someone offered him $1 million?
Yeah, $1 million, and he turned it down.
Wow.
Who was this person? I'll take 400,000. Come on.
Valentino will give a blowjob to get on for $1 million.
Arnold got 50 grand to do pumping iron.
I'll take $1 million and I'll turn up just like this. I got $1 million. Who cares?
Jay said that he would take for $10 million. He'd do the Open. He said he would fly Chris down and have Chris stay with him for.
But really, if you knew you were getting paid $10 million, what motivation would you really have to get in shape to win?
Yeah, right.
Well, you'd want it at that point. But think about this: Jay has so much money that he's able to say no to $1 million, but not 10 million. He doesn't have that much money, But any of us would have taken $1 million easy, right? We couldn't say no to $1 million. I couldn't say no to $1 million, even though I have a heart problem. I'd be like, all right.
I said, I wouldn't even diet. I'll turn up like this, and people go, "Oh, Lee, you look like shit. You look like shit." I say, I don't care. I'm a millionaire now. Thank you very much.
You know what? Yeah, that's the difference between you and everyone else. Like everyone would really try their hardest to look really good, except you, Lee. Like you'd be like, "Well, fuck it. I got the money. I'm just going to eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't care."
I mean, guest posing. And then the guy goes, "Oh, I won the Olympia." I'm like, "Oh, you won the Olympia. You got 200,000. I come last and got $1 million."
But you know what? The truth, obviously this fan is a Cutler fan, but why couldn't they give? Because I had speculated if they would have given Kai Green and Phil Heath 500 grand a piece, they both would have done it. That would have been a great show. Obviously, this guy wanted to see Jake compete, but.
Or why didn't this guy just go to Jake Woods and say, "Hey, listen, I'll give you $1 million to go to the prize money. See who you can get."
Well, yeah, you got to bribe the guys off the record, because I agree. A lot of these guys just won't do it. Like what motivation does Jay have to do it? He has nothing. There's no motivation. He's got all the money in the world he could ever spend. He just likes bodybuilding. So for him, $1 million wasn't enough of an incentive. But if there was a little bit more there, maybe he'd do it.
But Jay's going to be there anyways, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own.
Yeah, Jay said he might take his shirt off and maybe hit a couple of shots because he's getting in shape for his 50th birthday. So
yeah, I think Jay's doing that as a publicity stunt to sell product and to bring more notoriety. He's a good businessman, you know what I mean? He's very smart, smart.
Well, Jay's birthday's in August. He's doing fit at 50. My birthday's in 6 weeks. I'm doing fucked at 51.
Once you're 50, there's no more. Now you're just old, Lee. It doesn't even matter anymore,
And you know what? The funny thing was, I was saying to people, coming up to 50, it's like 48 took so long to get to 49. 49 to 50 took forever. From 50 to 51, it seems like it's only been 2 months since I turned 50. I'm like, fuck.
50 to 55 is pretty fast, Lee.
Yeah. What do you see how fast the next 10 years go, Lee? It's going to be unbelievable.
Ask Romano, who's 63 or whatever he is,
Yep.
He's like, he doesn't even remember his 50s. They were so fast,
I know.
All right, let's go back to the show for a second here. So we were watching some posing.
I'm watching him pose on stage. I'm looking at Desktop Bodybuilding's video, so I'm watching him pose.
So here, you can see him pose right here.
Yeah, but that's too small for me there. Need my glasses. I could see it here on the big screen.
Oh my God. Yeah, how's that? Is that big enough?
Yeah, that's
a little bit. I'm watching Ross, Tonio, Sergio, and Stu on the TV here.
Yeah. Now, once again, the show is one. I mean, Ross has got a lot of muscle, and he's got a lot of conditioning, and that's what won it from. Now the question is, and I think the storyline is cool because he's a new guy, and no one expected it. But really, the story I think is what happened to Sergio Oliva, right? Because I think we all agree that people were expecting to see Sergio come in here and win this show. I mean,
well, I think if Sergio like knew he could get out in time for it and planned on it, but I think if you're getting ready for a show and you're stuck in Dubai, you're not sure whether you're going to do it or not. You're going hard, but you're still not that 100% focused just in case you're not. So you're playing it safe. So when he got the okay, now he's got only a couple of days to go from Dubai to California, get into that super, bring it into contest shape in a couple of days, rather than if you've got a week or two and you're coming into a contest, you can time it right. But if you've got a couple of days to throw it all into 2 weeks into a couple of days. So, but like I said, for what he did, I still think he looked great.
Yeah, I love Sergio's physique. I love Sergio as a character in our sport, but it looks like he has some back issues, right? If you look at his lats, they look almost like the Ramy lat issue that he has. Like it looks like he's has a little.
People seeing is it's like one person says a back issue on someone, then everyone else is suddenly seeing all these back issues. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
No. I'm just saying, I never noticed that. Sergio always had a really good back to me. I don't know. Is he flat here?
Yeah, it looks terrible now. It looks terrible now. Fucking poor Sergio.
Maybe he was just flat,
That's so. But like I said, I hope he stays in the States now for a bit, and then he can actually dial it in properly for the next show he does, which he did talk about wanting to do Chicago, didn't he? Because he lived there.
Yeah. He grew up there.
Yeah. So hopefully he'll plan for that one, maybe.
This has been like a year and a half, right, since he's competed.
Yeah. Oh, I might have been close to 2 years. Yeah, exactly.
That's tough coming back after that long off.
Now, I thought Stu looked really good here. Beef Stu.
Really good right here.
Who was second in New York. I think he came back better here. I probably would have had him in that top group. I could see him. He finished his fourth here. Sergio was third. I mean, Sergio is bigger than him and has better genetics. But I mean, you can make an argument that Stu is, harder than Sergio, and he's harder than probably Tonio.
Yeah, Stu looks a little fuller than last week, but he still looks hard.
And he's big. He's a big guy. He's got a big
physique. He's got a good classic bodybuilding physique.
And he's got the best hair on stage, right, Lee?
I think his color looks better. His color looks better this week too. I notice sometimes he has a problem with his color. His color looks better this week.
I'm telling you, I think he got overlooked here.
I did too.
I talked to some people too, and a lot of them said he looked really good in person also.
His chest looks really full.
Yeah. I mean, his back, he needs a little bit more back development, I think. But, he made some really good improvements from last year,
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that last week on the New York Pro wrap-up. And, once again, he's still a work in progress. This is only his first year competing. He won the USA last year. He did jump into Tampa like the week after, but that really wasn't his pro debut because he kind of really didn't. This was really – these shows here were his debut. And I think he's going to keep improving. And he can add another, 20 pounds to his physique, I think.
Yeah.
And not ruin it.
He's got longer lats than Sergio there in the rear double bar.
Yeah. I like I said, I don't ever remember Sergio having, a lat issue, but it just looks a little weird today. I think he was just really flat here. I think what happened was he was holding a lot of water, like you said, from the travel, Lee, because that's what I was told.
Chris told me to travel, but you also figure too, coming into a show that close, mentally in your mind, you're going to be doubting yourself, thinking, "Oh, I'm coming a day or two before. I got to do this. I got to do this." So just the stress level alone, you're going to be high on the end just from that. So,
so they didn't have Antonio and Russ here in this comparison, huh? They just had these guys.
Yeah, those guys were kept like as a separate call out. But when you're holding water and then you start pulling the old diuretic game, what happens? It comes out everywhere. And so what happens is you flatten out. So you do dry out, but you get flat. And I think that's what happened to his back, because I've never seen it. That's like one of his strong body parts. Like I just don't see it. I think he just was really flat. And like you said, I think if he stays in the States and does a couple more shows, I think we're going to see a different Sergio from him.
Well, his dad had kind of high lats too, so I think he inherited that a little bit.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Blame your father.
What are you doing? My wife's here leaning on my leg. What's wrong?
Oh,
Do you have too much tequila? Too much tequila. It's okay.
When Lee and his wife drink, they don't just like have a couple cocktails. They drink the whole bottle. It's like that's like
you always have the whole bottle. She made some brownie, like a brownie this big, and she put an ounce of marijuana in it.
Oh no way!
How much did you eat? You don't know? Are you dizzy? She's very dizzy.
You want to give her a bone?
I can smell alcohol, so you must have had half a bottle and some marijuana.
Oh no!
Huh?
She needs some anti-nausea.
The room's spinning. She said the room's spinning. Okay.
Oh, no.
That's what happens with those brownies.
Well, that's the thing, though. She got the head, and it's like, an ounce is like in this container this big. I said, that's too much. And I had a piece the other night this big. Like, if you have a little bit for the pain, you can just go to sleep. But I felt like I was laying in bed. The bed was squashing me. I went to the toilet. I'm like, fuck, the toilet floor's coming up. It's going down. It's almost like you can have a little bit and feel good. Too much, and you get that real trippy feeling, and I fucking hate it. So
yeah,
I think you're tripping.
Well, if you don't do like marijuana on a regular basis, and then you do it, you have a much heightened. It definitely hits you a lot harder. Like
She's experiencing that right now.
Yeah.
Are you floating on the planet? You don't like it? Well, the world can see you right now. The world's watching you trip. Feeling better? No? Yeah, you had too much.
You're
head's in a very funny place while I'm doing it. I noticed. Head's in a very funny position.
I've never seen Lee uncomfortable, John. He's like, usually he's the one making other people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't throw up in my lap.
If we got that live on camera, that would be great. I guess
Good throw up? No.
That'll be your screenshot for the.
Right.
You gonna go shower? Yeah. Why are you crawling on the floor like that?
You can't walk.
You can't walk.
No.
You want to do this play-by-play review of the bodybuilding?
No.
Okay, goodbye. Enjoy the shower.
I think his wife made her debut, her heavy muscle debut.
Yeah, I never saw her.
High as a fucking kite. Now, kids, this will be a lesson. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do them live on the air.
It's only 2:00 Sunday afternoon, and she's wasted high as a kite.
There you go. Now, I'll go around the horn. I'll go to you, John, first. Let's talk Ross Flanigin here. Obviously, tremendous win for him. This is probably more than he ever, anticipated.
Yeah.
How does his physique do at the Olympia in your
mind? Probably not top 10.
Yeah, well, definitely. I don't think top 10 for sure. No. But I mean, what is he lacking that these other guys have in your mind?
Well, just from the little bit of video I saw, I just think he's got one of those kind of shorter leg, longer torso physiques, which is kind of tough. And then he's got a lot of muscle, and he just needs to come in hard condition, but he probably just doesn't have the amount of size that it's going to need to be in the top 10 for the Olympia.
He's pretty big.
Yeah.
I think he looks pretty big to me. So let's get this. I want to show one thing.
I think with him too, it may be just a matter of time thing, because I'd never really heard of him before. I didn't hear of his name being mentioned.
Yeah, I never did either.
Now he's up there. I think just with time, because really he looks good, but he still doesn't really have that muscle maturity. Look like he's got good condition, but just over time you get that maturity look. The muscles get a bit rounder. So, I think with time, I think he can still, do really well. But the top 10 being his first Olympia this year, I think there's going to be too many big names in that top 10. But then again, if they don't get out there and qualify, he might make the top 10. So.
I think a good thing for Russ to do would be to do more pro shows. I mean, he's got this win. Do another one. Do a couple other ones.
He looks pretty excited about the win.
Yeah. I mean, show how good you are. You know, go on a couple other pro shows, see if you can win a couple more, and then if he goes in the Olympia, he's going to have a name. If he waits until the Olympia and doesn't do anything else, he's probably going to be kind of forgotten about by the time the Olympia gets here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, coming off a win, too, that gives you good motivation to get even more
momentum,
better shape for your next show. Yeah, so
I would do the next couple.
I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, right?
No.
I mean, why not collect a couple of paychecks? You know, think about how many guys really make money bodybuilding. You know, from prize money. Very few.
And build up your name, build up who you are. You know, nobody knows who he is. So, I mean, show that this wasn't just a one-time deal. Go in other shows and show what you can do. And if he might win a couple more shows.
Yeah. I mean, next week, I mean, although, you know, if Ian Valier doing next week's show in Toronto?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's not going to beat
Toronto, yeah.
He's not going to beat Ian. BBC, you know, to pack it in and retire, you know. I mean, Ian's at another level, obviously.
Don't start rumors now. They're going to be saying Dave Palumbo's telling Ian to retire. There'll be a video about it now.
No, I'm going to be putting too much pressure on Ian. He doesn't do well with pressure. No, look, this show was a missed opportunity for some of these top level guys that need to requalify. Because how many guys requalify from last year's Olympia? Top 3?
I was going to ask you that. Is it top 3 or top 5?
You keep changing the rules. I don't remember. I think it's top 3.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Used to be top 10, right, Lee?
So
the top 10. That's why every year people go, "How are you going to do?" I said, "Look, if I get 10th, I'm happy. I'm requalified for next year. So anything above 10th was always a bonus."
Right.
Labrada's got to requalify. What?
Is Arnold top 5 or top 3 now? The Arnold Classic when they had that.
I think it's just the first place, isn't it?
Really? Wow, it used to be top 5. It used to be top 5 at the Olympia.
100 years ago. Yeah, 100 years ago. Let me see.
And I think there wasn't a Night of Champions top 3 as well back in the day.
I think it was top 5.
Okay.
I think it was top 3.
It was top 5. Yeah. Night of Champions was top 5. Yeah.
Yeah, Night of the Champions and the Arnold was top 5.
Wayne wanted everyone to do a show, so he made a top 5, you know.
Yeah.
You see, I'm trying to look for the qualifications. I guess it would probably be at NPC, right? News.
Or the Olympia website.
Well, if Ross just keeps doing some of the smaller shows and keeps winning, he can block people out and then he can place top 10 at the Olympia.
Yeah. All right, for the 2023 Olympia, Brett Wilkin is qualified. Hadi Shupin, Derek Lunsford, Nick Walker, Brandon Curry, Big Ramy, Sampson, Byros Tabani, and Tony Burton. So
that's it.
That's it. So think about all the other guys that have to qualify. I don't know if Bonak's going to do the Olympia again this year. He's not qualified. Labrada's not qualified. I guess Nick Walker not qualified?
He's got to be. He's top 3.
Yeah, I would think. I don't know why he's not on the list here, but
he's qualified.
He's qualified.
If Ian wins Toronto, he'll be qualified. So
Ian's not, qualified, and I know that what's his name is going to be doing the Texas Pro, Andrew Jack. Andrew Jack. Yeah, so he's got to qualify.
Yeah, he's not qualified. Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of guys that are not qualified, for this show, and to me, wait until that last minute. We only got a couple shows left. Everyone's going to jump in the same show. Someone's going to be crying on the sideline, begging for a special invite.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, New York and Cal Pro was wide open,
And then when they get the special invite, we'll see plenty of videos of everyone complaining. Why did he get the invite? I had to get
Last year, Tyler Mannion said they're not going to be giving out the special invites, just because people don't qualify. So he said, you better make sure you qualify, which I thought was a good message. He's like, look, I'm warning you guys right now. We're not giving out the old, special invites because you guys all wait till the last minute to qualify. So you better pick your shows wisely. And sure enough, the season has been going, and every show, aside from the Arnold, which was a great lineup, obviously, because they put up all that money, they've all sucked pretty much. I mean, there's been a couple of good guys, and that's it.
Yeah.
And missed opportunities. Think about it.
Which you hate saying. I even hate when people say it because it's like
Do you
Yeah, I
think?
don't want to.
Well, this
If
happened
I
last
don't
year too,
suck
right?
because there's good competitors in them. I don't want people to think we say they suck. They're good shows, but they
No,
don't
I'm
have the
talking-
names that we're used
I'm
to
talking
seeing
about
in
the
them.
top
Not the
10
big
guys
names.
that need to
Yeah.
qualify. Yeah, I'm
Right.
talking about those guys. Let me ask you this question. Some people felt tonight's decision was controversial, that Ross should not have won. I wasn't there. We weren't there. So it's hard to, judge.
Yeah.
He looked the biggest and hardest in the pictures to me, but who knows? My question is, was Tonio Burton good enough to win? And maybe the judges said, hey, you know what? This guy's already qualified. We give him a win here. He's going to take away a qualification spot. I mean, it's
hard to say. You often wonder if they do that, but going from the videos, like you say, we're not there going off that. But when you look at Sergio, when you look at Ross, when you look at Tonio, it's like there was really, if it had gone either way, I don't think people would have been going, oh, that was totally ripped off, because all of them had their weaknesses and flaws. I don't really see any of them look to be 100% on. Ross was probably the closest to that. That's
let me throw something in there. After prejudging, I'm looking at the scorecards. Tonio Burton was winning by a point. After prejudging, Tonio Burton was winning by a point, and then at the finals, Ross, beat him by enough points that he wound up in second place. So it looked like after prejudging, these judges were going with Tonio. Very rarely do they change their mind on a one-day show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How much better can he come back at night? So
It's
I'm almost wondering if people started saying, hey, the show's not that great. Tonio qualified last week. Maybe we should give it to this guy. He looks good. He's in great shape. I don't know. I'm just saying
you're such a conspiracy theorist, aren't you? You're such a conspiracy.
How many points did he beat him by, Dave? Does it say?
Yeah, he beat him by in the final tally. It was a 2-point decision. So
it was Lee Harvey Oswald's fault.
That's right. Now Sergio was a solid third. Everyone unanimously thought Sergio was third, and that Stu Sutherland was fourth. Those were solid.
Or maybe Tonio just smoothed out or faded at the evening show. So maybe they finally judged the posing routine.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're not judging posing, right?
I don't think so.
So in the prejudging, they did the comparisons. They did the mandatory poses.
Right.
So what was at night? What was the finals? Just the posing and
the pose
down.
They repeat what happened. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
But it's it's two prejudgings essentially is what they do now. That's how they score these things.
Yeah.
Look, I'm super happy for Ross because you know what? Like I said, no matter what the rationale was, no matter how it worked out, he was at the right place at the right time in the best shape of his life, and he got the win. You know what? On other days, he could have showed up looking exactly the same, and we could have been saying, "Man, that guy Ross Flanigin should have won the show, and he can come in fifth place." So you never know. You're only judged against who's up on stage next to you, and that's what people forget. It doesn't matter how you look sometimes because it depends on who you're standing next to. I've seen guys look the best they've ever looked in their entire life. Best overall look, posing was perfect, and they just went into a tough lineup, and there were guys better than them.
Oh yeah, we used to see that all the time.
Dave, look at me here by myself. Look at this. I could have won.
Lee, I'll give you $1 million if you do Masters Nationals, Masters Olympia.
Okay. I need 50% deposit.
Yeah. $500,000.
I'll give you $1 million.
Then I'll get a stomach bug and go, Dave, I can't make it. It's just a stomach.
Yeah.
But Tonio also had to go against what he was last week, and he was a little bit off, and it was only a week ago, so that probably hurt him too.
I'm telling you, I think Tonio had the whisperings of the judges saying Fuller.
Yeah.
And he figured, you know what? I was so hard. But never mess with perfection. He had a great look last week.
Yeah, he didn't need to be Fuller. He
would have come in exactly.
He's got one like he's not very how tall. He's not very tall either. He has one of those bodies almost like the more conditioned he is, the illusion he looks bigger.
Right.
Like his muscles look rounder. The deeper
100%.
his definition is, he just looks bigger.
100%. You're right.
You think Tonio can make the top 10?
At the Olympia? No, I don't think he's big enough.
I don't either.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Depending, like Yeah, maybe if some of the others are off, I think he could, because like I said, if he's in condition, he has nice proportions and shape all over. So if someone was a little off, I could see maybe crack 10th.
Great physique, but he's a little too narrow, I think.
Well, yeah,
I
maybe.
knew a short, young, narrow guy. I knew a short, narrow guy once who used to make the top 6 at the Olympia.
He doesn't
All right, let's look at this picture. This is a good picture. I'll expand it to the full screen. So this is Ross on the left, Tonio to his right, and then Sergio, and then Stu. You can't miss with that hairdo.
Where's Ross from? What part?
I don't remember where he's from, but what do you think of this picture? This front double bicep. I mean, analyze it.
I think Ross looks the best.
Yeah. I mean, he really does. If you break it down, he's got a small
eyes
waist.
went to him first. Yeah.
I agree.
And Stu does look fourth there because he looks softer. He just doesn't look as hard.
And Stu from here, because he looks like small here to me, I can see his hair. He looks like a young Edward Kowak.
Yeah. I said that last week. I said he has got that hairdo, the Edward Kowak hairdo.
He does.
I remember when Robbie lost the 77 Olympia, they said because he had that big afro.
Yeah.
How racist.
Now it's racist. Yeah, today that would be racist. All right, lat spread. Who wins the lat spread?
Sergio looks the best there.
Yeah, I think Sergio's probably got the best front lat spread. Although Stu looks pretty
good too.
I don't like
who does.
I like Tonio look there, just why his chest and arms and waist and that. But
yeah, Stu looks like his color is a little weird, right?
Yeah,
is
it
it
looks
like greenish almost. Yeah.
I don't like the way he puts his leg up like that either.
Yeah, now that's a good shot for Stu, I think. Good side leg, freaky, oblique showing.
But Russ looks real good in that pose too. He's got a great side chest.
Yeah,
very thick.
That's usually a good shot for Sergio too. Sergio's definitely flat here. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, his arms look smaller. His legs.
Yeah, he has.
I was thinking that Sergio in his front lat spread, his arms normally pop like his bis and tris. They look pretty flat.
Yeah.
He's overly dehydrated for certain. There's no doubt in my mind there. All right, let's take the next pose.
I can read the comments now here. Listen to you old washed up bodybuilders talking about top pros competing.
I like Stu in this shot.
Yeah.
He's getting a gnarly back double, right?
He does have a gnarly. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Gnarly.
Like if all of those had come in at their best shape today, that could have gone anyway. Really, if they were all at 100%, it'd be hard to pick because they all have their good points and their weaknesses aren't really that huge. Where he definitely has a huge advantage over this person. They're all pretty even, along with their good and bad spots. So.
But the conditioning.
Ross just nailed it. He's the only one who peaked.
Really, conditioning is fantastic there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like Stu on that shot, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one. I like Stu on that shot too.
Wow, Sergio really looks flat there.
I'm telling you, Sergio. I guarantee if we get him on the show, he's the water thing because I know I texted him good luck and. This was like on Thursday, and he was like, "Yeah, hopefully I can get rid of the water." So they were battling with water issues, and obviously, I think they went too far with the diuretics to try to get rid of the water, and I think it just flattened him out. That's
when did he get to the United States? How far out?
That I don't know. I'm not really sure what day he got in, but whatever it was,
I think it's on his Instagram. I think it was like Thursday or Wednesday, wasn't it? Because he posted. Had that picture, welcome to LA. I think it was around then.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Who do you like side tricep?
Tonio and Ross are doing almost the front tricep. They're not really doing
They all are, yeah.
And
let's talk about that for a second. Why are guys not hitting a real side tricep anymore? I mean, when I think side tricep, I think Paul DeMeo, I think Dorian Yates. I think of some of the Lee Priest. I think some of the great side tricep poses of all time. Why are guys hitting a 3/4 shot?
Well, why aren't the judges pulling them up on it? I remember it to be heels together. Heels together.
The head judge
judges aren't pulling them up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Same thing when they call for the ab shot and they either hit a vacuum or they hit the the twisting intercostal shot.
And there's nothing worse too. There's nothing worse if you actually do. There's nothing worse if you actually do the proper side tricep and everybody else is throwing in 3 or 4 other poses in between. It's like, just do the one pose so they can compare. Yeah, Kevin was notorious for that. Kevin would do like 6 poses before he got into one shot. Kevin would do half a posing routine before he got to a side chest.
Yeah. Well, I remember Flex Wheeler told me once, he says that, if you have a weak pose around it, hit other poses first to distract the judges. So I think that was always, well, Ronnie Coleman couldn't hit a side tricep either, if you remember.
Yeah, but he did hit it.
What? Yeah, but he had the best arms in bodybuilding, but he was terrible at hitting the side tricep pose. Yeah. I don't know what the problem was, but he was terrible. But yeah, I don't like the fact that guys don't hit the ab thigh the right way, and I don't like the fact that they don't hit the side tricep. And you know what? Lee's right. The judges back in the day would say, "Hey, side tricep. This is not a front pose." Yeah. And they would make them go into the front pose.
I even remember when you just doing the mandatory relax where you just did your quarter turns without posing. If you were side on and you started to twist too far, they'd tell you to turn back. If you started twisting all the way around, they'd be like face forward. So you just pretty much side on. But people try to twist more and make their waist look smaller. They'd say face forward.
Well, you cheat as much as you can get away with. But I mean, no one's calling these guys out. They have to, because you know what? They're not hitting
like I said,
they're not hitting the mandatory pose. Yeah.
No, we all cheated a little bit, but if it went too far, the judges.
The guys on stage, if they're not correcting.
Yeah,
not hitting the poses.
They'll always, like I said, they'll let you get away with a little bit back in the day, but if you went too far, they'd say that's enough. Stand forward, stand this way.
Yeah, those are not side. Those are front. Those are front tricep poses.
The funny thing is that Stu has a good tricep. I don't know why he's doing it. Yeah,
it's like they're doing a front quad pose there, not a tricep.
Yeah, quad ab pose. Yeah, exactly what it is. All right, here's
Sergio's the only one doing the side tricep.
Right. Yeah, Sergio's the only one doing it right.
Yeah, and there's the ab thigh pose. Who do you like in that?
Tony.
Well, even then it should be both hands. It should be both hands above your head, like Sergio's doing.
They should almost mark people down if you don't hit the pose right.
Well, you know why they do that? Because if you got a bloated stomach or you got a wide waist, you're going to see that, with both hands overhead.
Mm-hmm. Well, they used to call the pose.
If they crunch down their intercostals and that at the end after they've done the proper pose as they're just going to relax, then it's okay. But if you,
and I see it in classic all the time too, where they're all hitting vacuums. That's not an ab pose. That's a vacuum pose.
That's a vacuum pose. You know what? The judges used to say 2 hands behind your head, ab thigh, if you remember. That's what they used to call the pose. And they don't do that anymore. Yeah, so I don't know. It's become too lax, I think.
Yeah, they'd have, yeah.
All right.
You get on these guys.
All right, now here's most muscles. That's the only one. That's kind of like everyone's kind of in between poses here.
Wow, Sergio looks flat in that one.
He looks really flat. Yeah. This is really a great pose for him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his pose.
Ross looks the best here, probably, and Stu.
Yeah.
Some freaky shots.
Ross looks the most conditioned for sure. And Stu's the thickest. Stu looks like the biggest and fullest.
Yeah, Stu's pretty wide. I didn't realize how wide his shoulders were. He definitely has a good.
Yeah, he's got a great front double bi and a great rear double bi.
And I think the same with Stu. It's just a matter of time. Give Stu a couple more years to get that maturity, and that I think he'll be winning a lot of shows come in the near future.
I think next year he'll look better.
He's on his way. Absolutely. I think he should grow that fro. I think he should grow it down like the middle of his back and just fucking like braid it like the old Rory Liedermeyer look,
and come out with the comb in it.
Then he can take it off his shoulders, like the bikini girls do, or the figure girls.
Like Kai Green does. Kai just didn't have any hair. Kai had the ponytail, but he didn't have any other hair anyplace else. That was the problem.
Right.
Remember when Kai whipped Phil with that braid?
Classic moment in bodybuilding.
When monitor lizards, get defensive, they whip people with their tails, and that's like Kai would whip people with that braid if he was in a bad mood or something.
The frill neck lizard's a lot better when
it. Yeah, but those lizards, you get hit with that tail, you're gonna be in some bad shape from some of those big lizards.
I'll tell you what's bad. If you get hit with my dog's tail, it almost knocks me out.
Oh, Yeah, I haven't seen your dogs lately. They must be pretty big by now, right?
He's about 68 kilos and she's like 58 kilos.
Wow. That's a big dog, Lee.
They're a year old.
Do you keep them inside or outside?
And they come both in and out, but
Yeah.
I have to show him to you next time. His neck's probably this big. Like it looks
Oh,
like
really?
he's got a neck like Jeff King. It's just like his shoulders, neck, and head all go into one. It's just like this big.
Wow.
Now that they're all full grown and everything like that, are you happy you have them, or are you like saying to yourself, "Oh, I should have got the."
Sometimes when I'm walking them, like I said, when I walk them and they tore my shoulder a bit, I'm thinking, all I asked for was a little dog. I just asked for one little dog.
And you got Lee, of course, had to get two because one is not enough, right?
Yeah. My wife did that because the other one, they said, look, just take them both. And I said, if we take them both, we're not going to get rid of them because they're brother and sister. They got on so well. So I wanted one little dog, end up with two behemoths.
Are they like neutered, spayed, or are you going to breed them?
She is. We just they said to let him go a bit longer just for his growing with his tests and all that before you neuter him. But she got done a while ago. So
okay, all right. You don't need any puppies. That's all. Imagine Lee with puppies. You're so neurotic already, like with cleaning litter boxes. Those puppies poop and pee like 1,000 times a day. You'd be going nuts, Lee. With your luck, there would be like 10 puppies or something like that. It'd be. Where's Lee? We haven't seen him in weeks. He won't leave the house. All he does is clean poops up and dog poops.
Chasing him around. I'd have little diapers on him.
Yeah, there you go.
How's your wife, Lee? Is she okay?
I haven't heard. I heard the shower.
Is she still conscious? Yeah, she's still conscious. Do you need? We were teasing Lee. Lee was going to go to the emergency room.
She might do what do they call it? What do they call when the police come around for what check? A
health check, right, or something like that, or
whatever it is. I'll go see.
Thank God, at least one person in this show is responsible. John Hansen, very good call.
Yeah, I wanted to check on her.
She probably passed out too.
I've done that THC before, man. The same thing
Oh,
happened.
you have?
The whole room was spinning.
Have you've eaten it? The edibles?
Yeah, by mistake one time I ate it.
Oh, really?
Oh man, the whole room was spinning. I'm not.
Everyone tells me that the edibles are way stronger than the than smoking.
Yeah, and then like brownies and cookies. I love that stuff. So you eat.
Hey, look what I got.
Ah.
Oh, there we go.
She's laying in the bottom of the bath in the fetal position. The room's full of steam.
As long as there's no water, you don't want her drowning in there, Lee. Don't make sure there's no water in the tub.
This is
Whitney Houston died like that.
Yeah,
and the daughter.
And her daughter. Yeah,
and the daughter. Right. Terrible.
Look at Kitty.
Dave, I've been watching The Offer. I want to tell you.
Oh, it's good, right?
About The Godfather. Yeah, that's.
I told you that. It's great, right?
Yeah,
it's very.
I started watching Fubar.
I did too. I saw the first.
Someone sent me a review. Cito sent me a review of Fubar. They said it was the worst. It was an embarrassment. I don't know if is it that bad?
I don't know how I made it through the first.
Pretty bad.
I don't know how I made it through the first episode. I got through the first episode and I went, "Oh, this is like."
What? Why would Arnold do that? I mean, you think Arnold's pretty smart, like with the projects he picks usually. Like, I heard it's horrendous. I mean, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But
it's
what do you think?
It's the same character. He's like the CIA agent, and he's a legend. Everybody treats
him like a B.
But I heard it's like him and his daughter or something like that.
Yeah, well,
they got to go to counseling and stuff like that. I heard it's really contrived.
It's the B. It's like the B plus version of True Lies in a TV show.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What?
Yeah.
You're a CIA agent too, Dad? Dad, you lied to me. I lied to you. You lied to me. You didn't tell me you worked for the CIA. All these times you went away and I thought you were at work. We grew up without a father. Oh. That was the first episode I just gave you right there.
I'm not going to waste my time on it. I'm consumed with what's the show that I am that I like, Lee? I told you with Keith or Sutherland.
The Designated Survivor.
Designated Survivor. If you want to watch a good one, John, that on Netflix, phenomenal. I love it.
Okay, I've been watching Mayor of Kingstown. Did you see that with Jeremy Renner?
I have not seen it yet, no, but I noticed it.
I'm almost
seen
done with
that?
that one.
That was really good. Really good.
It's worth watching.
Yeah, I haven't finished the last season.
Very
yet,
gritty, very realistic,
Yeah.
a little grim, but it was really good.
That's good. I'm going to check it out.
Sort of a little bit like Ray Donovan style type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I like Ray Donovan. I love that show.
Well, it was done by the guy who did.
Similar to that, where this guy's like, they go to this guy if they have problems, and he tries to fix all the problems in the jail and keep peace between all the different gangs and what's going on.
That's awesome. It was great.
Yeah. It sounds. I'm going to check it out. All right, I'm just looking up here.
I was watching that Prodigal Son one. It's not too bad though, about the serial killer, and his son's like a profiler, and his dad's helping him catch all these other killers. It's not too bad.
There's a lot of good shows on recently. I noticed.
I was just saying the other day how spoiled it we. I said when I was younger, I had Channel 3, 5A, and SBS, and I always found something to watch. I can sit there now. I have Netflix, Stan, Prime, Paramount Plus, all these things. I can sit there for half an hour and go, "There's fucking nothing here to watch. There's nothing on TV." I'm like, how spoiled are we now? There's so many shows.
Well, remember the bodybuilding. Oh, we're back to okay.
I want to take a look at this. I found this clip of Sergio. I really believe that if Sergio had come in like the Sergio who was a week and a half ago, looking like a world beater, I think he would have destroyed this show.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of the trip coming in too soon, trying to get rid of the water maybe too quick. Just Yeah,
you can see he's not happy with the way he looks. He would have killed this lineup. I really believe it. I mean,
yeah.
I think he knows he probably could be better, but even he's probably thinking for what he did to get there and get on stage there, he's probably happy with it, even though he'd like to win it. But I think even what he did to get there and in that short time, third place is still pretty good.
So is he doing any more shows? He should be, right?
I think he mentioned like Chicago.
He should do the Toronto. I don't know why he wouldn't do Toronto. I mean,
right?
It's next week, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I would go right back. I mean, just fill out and look way better.
Yeah.
You have to ask Chris because Chris is helping him.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
I mean, I don't know. I just think I feel like I'm suffering with him watching him, like, because I know that he's not at his best, and it's got to be driving him crazy. So
get your bum out of the camera.
So Lee, have you thought about guest posing at the Masters Olympia?
Yeah, if Jay's friend pays me $200,000,
come on,
he's still saving $800,000.
You would do it for $50,000, no doubt about it. Easy.
Yeah,
no way you'd say no.
He's saving $950,000.
That's right. So listen, if Jay's guy out there wants to give Lee $50,000,
if Jay's G for P person is out there and he's willing to pay me $50,000. I'm blonde hair, white guy.
For a mil, would you do the Masters? And would you enter at the last minute now? So dieting? Yeah.
Of course I would.
But here's the stipulation. Hold on. There's a stipulation on the million. You have to be your best. We're not saying you have to be like, you can't fix parts that are broken, but you need to be in shape. If you're not shape.
For $1 million, I would treat it as if I was getting ready for a proper show and being the best I could be.
Okay. All right. That's part of the stipulation. You have to be in shape.
Oh, yeah. I'd try and look the best I could with what I've got.
Blackman has to inspect your glutes. If he feels that they're up to par, then you can get paid.
From the other side of the room.
Yeah. Lee, I'm the glute inspector. Come over here. I'm going to take it. I got to make sure that the million is validated. They hired me as an independent contractor here.
Can you hold the check in the cuts of your ass?
Drop your pants and cough. Wait a second, Steve. This is not an inguinal hernia check. This is just a conditioning check.
Steve,
Drop your pants.
Steve,
You should go out there when Jay
diuretics.
takes his
I'll
shirt off.
use lube. Don't worry about it.
Well, you know, contest time, if you take diuretics, there's nothing but an empty sack there. There's nothing to hold on the cough to. they've gone up here. You got to push them back down.
Yeah.
Let me just push my ovaries down. Steve. Hold on.
What if Jay's guy said, you know what? I'm going to get Lee versus Jay on stage.
Yeah,
would you pose down against Jay on stage? You know?
Am I still going money? Is this still for the million? Is this still for the million?
No. Jay's getting $1 million. You're only getting 100 grand here. All right.
100 grand.
You're not worth $1 million. I'm sorry. Jay's worth $1 million. You're not worth $1 million.
Well, just to pose with Jay like a guest posing pose there for 100,000.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
All right. Just
when Jay gets up there and takes his shirt off, you got to go out there and take yours off.
I think that would be. I think the fans would go crazy.
Oh, they go nuts. That'll be the highlight of the show.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%.
I just keep showing this side. I just show my good side all the time.
You gotta. You Flex Wheeler can show you how to hide your weaknesses and show your strengths. Yeah, you can hit all your.
They'll be so blown away by this side they won't care. I can be like, listen, 100,000 for the bodybuilder Lee, and like 25,000 for the classic physique Lee on this side.
Maybe I could
do bodybuilder Lee, and then,
no,
here's a better idea: 100,000 for bodybuilder Lee, and then 50,000 for the ladies physically on this side, Leanne.
Actually, I have a better idea. Yeah, why don't you get like spray? Those guys, they spray tan it. Do half your body as the Hulk on the smaller side, so that no one really notices. It'll be green, and then the Lee Priest on this side will be the regular Lee Priest.
Oh wait! Oh, you know what? I've got the guys almost got it done for me. A Superman suit, like the actual Superman suit from the movie, and it's actually got all the muscles in it, like that actually move. So when I got the suit on, looks like I got all these muscles. He goes, I normally make them 1.5 inches too bigger. I said, well, for my suit, make them 3 inches bigger. I said, I'm never going to take the fucking thing off. I'm just going to wear it everywhere.
Like maybe you can just make the right side bigger than the left side, Lee, so you balances you off a little bit, But
the thing is, you take the cape off, and with just the suit, if you wear clothes over it, it looks like you muscle underneath.
Right. Yeah, those suits are expensive too to make.
Yeah, it's almost made. Wait till I get it. I'm never going to take the thing off.
Oh, you're really getting one made for you?
Yeah, it's almost done.
Wow. That should be cool. You'll wear it on the show.
Got it done. The boots have been done. The cape's been done, and I'll have to find the video where he sent me of the whole chest piece and that. Should see it. Got a chest like
that.
Now
you have to get those almost. You have to play it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got.
You used to always use the Superman theme song, right, Lee? When you posted.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to definitely do the. You got to you got to guest post somewhere now with the Superman suit on. Yeah, fix my microphone here. Hold on a second.
Where's Jay's lover? I mean sponsor. Is he going to send me the money? The guest pose in the Superman suit.
Look,
Lee Priest guest posing at the Mr. Olympia in Florida.
You see, you know what the problem is? Lee is too willing to do it. Like these guys that put up like big money for this stuff. It's to the guys that have no desire to do this. It's like they want to like somehow connive them into doing something that they really don't want to do. So you got to play hard to get, Lee.
At the Olympia in Orlando, I want to come down on wires in the Superman suit.
That's great. That's something Wayne would do. They would the current people would never do that. But yeah, if they flew Lee in like with the Superman suit, people would go nuts in the stands.
Yeah, the night of the champions, they were doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah. But it's good. It's like
when they came out on camels, Edward Coack come out on a camel.
That's right. It's fun.
Muhammad Makwe, yeah.
They should choreograph a pregame show with guys like Lee, maybe people who formerly, used to compete. Not the guys who currently compete. They don't want to be bothered, those guys. You get the guys that are like just out of retirement, guys that they don't know what to do with themselves, but they still want to compete and they still look good. Yeah. And, guys like Lee, Guy Sister Nina would love to be involved in something like that. And you do like a little skit or something like that prior to the Olympia. Yeah. It's choreographed.
Louis can be the Hulk.
There you go.
Get Louis to be the Hulk and I'll come out as Superman.
Yeah.
Dave, did you see the Night of the Champions when those guys from the WBF were coming back, and then Amelia put like tombstones up, right? Headstones from the grave.
Yeah, graveyard. Yeah, I remember the graveyard.
Speaking of Lou Ferrigno, what did you think about him in The Offer? Now that you're watching it.
Oh, he's good. I mean, he didn't have much to say really, but
he has lines. You haven't seen. You're probably just started.
I'm still like I think I'm on episode 4 or 5.
I was surprised he had as many lines as he did. And did you know that the character that he played, which is based on a true person,
Luca Brasi, yeah.
Well, that guy played Luca Brasi, yeah. So he was the regular like henchman from like the Palumbo crime family, and they threw him in there, and it was he played because they couldn't. The Luca Brasi guy actually died before they started filming.
Oh, okay. I know that guy who played him. I think he was a wrestler too.
Oh, he was
like a pro wrestler, yeah.
I thought Lou was pretty good. I was shocked to see him actually because I'd never seen him play like a dramatic role like that, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know he was in it until you mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, he had told me in an interview.
You never watched Hercules? You never watched Lou in Hercules? What do you mean?
They dubbed him. He wasn't even speaking in Hercules.
Yeah.
What about Sinbad when he played Sinbad? What are you talking about?
I don't think he was speaking in that one either, was he?
I missed Sinbad. I didn't see that one.
Yeah. I remember reading about it in Muscle and Fitness. I never saw it. I never saw it circulated anywhere. But yeah, I remember when the movie came out and they had Louis in there. But
he lost a lot of weight for that one for Sinbad.
Yeah, I thought he was great in The Offer. I thought he played a good role. And once again, it was funny because they were rehearsing lines with him. Like because when they decided to make him Luca Brasi, they were trying to get him to read the lines. This is supposedly a true story. And the character, not Lou, obviously, but Lou is portraying this guy. The guy couldn't get the lines right. He was like flubbing him, reversing him. They went over it. They were going crazy, you know. So finally, Francis Ford Coppola said, "You know what? Stop." Like, what do you mean stop? Don't rehearse. The character is not the smartest character. He's supposed to be dumb, Luca Brasi. Yeah. Let him just do the lines the way he wants.
Right. That's what he did.
He's a natural.
Yeah. And they just let him do it the way they want. That's how they filmed the movie. That's a true story, you know. So
that's like when people say they need like someone to play a fucking idiot in the movie. They just say, "Lee, come and be yourself." I'm like, okay.
Lou looked great. I mean, how old is Lou now? He's in his 70s.
He's 70. He looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in his 40s.
You know, I saw a photo of the other day was Chuck Norris and his mother's in her 90s, and she looked wonderful. How'd you go in the shower?
Pizza, pasta, and wings.
You've ordered pizza, pasta, and wings. The pot must be kicking in. She's got munchies now.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very good for the stomach combination, Lee, though, with the alcohol.
I know. Can you imagine? I'll let you know in a couple of hours.
You're going to be cleaning all day tomorrow, all day later today. That's for sure. It's already Sunday there.
Litter boxes, vomit. It's like living in an old people's home.
That's right.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's with the dogs on the floor. Yeah.
She's laying on the floor with the cat curled up in the fetal position.
Get her a beanbag at least to lay on, Lee. Come on. Yeah. Show some chivalry here. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Lee, of course, Chris was over there in California with Sergio, so couldn't really fit up the timing.
I'm interested to see what show he's going to do next day, because I think now he's in the States, he'll have to do another 1 or 2 shows. So
he'd be nuts not to, because I think he's right there. I think he just needs to fill out. That's all.
Yeah. And if he gets in shape, it'll be an easy qualification for the Olympia if he gets like at his best. So.
Although now that the shows are dwindling down, you're going to start having guys like Labrada and Crizzo and all these other guys jumping in these shows. They got to requalify, and it's going to make it a lot harder. So I think a lot of guys are going to see the New York Pro and the Cal as a missed opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
But we say it every year. We've been saying it the last 3 years. Why aren't guys doing the early shows? They're still not doing the early shows. So there you go.
And how many times when I was competing did that happen?
Yeah,
that would happen so many times. You'd be like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this show because there's big names in it. No one does it." So you're like, "Damn, missed opportunity." I'll do the next show. Then all of a sudden, the next show, everybody's in it. You're like, oh, fuck.
Right. But when you competed, Flex Wheeler and those guys were doing like the regular shows. They were doing the B shows. They didn't care, you know.
And really every show back then, whether it was the Ironman, the San Francisco, the Arnold, there was almost the Olympia lineup minus Mr. Olympia at every show.
Yeah,
I remember this. Flex was in like the South Beach Pro Show. You remember they had one year?
Yeah, in Miami. Yeah, I remember that.
Wasn't it like him versus Ronnie or something like that?
Yeah.
It was like a good show. Yeah,
I've got the video from that.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, that's when Ronnie started getting really good too. You know, so
yeah, I think that was like, what was that? 97, I think.
Yeah,
I think I got fourth at the South Beach one. I think that time.
Oh, you were in that show too?
Yeah, because I was backstage. I was causing a problem. They said because they're like, we're getting ready. I wasn't really, but they said, guys, you have half an hour. So we're all laying around. All of a sudden, the guy comes back and goes, get on stage now. I'm like, you said we had half an hour. Well, it doesn't matter. Get on now. So we started putting oil on. You haven't got time for oil and pump up. They're just going to announce your name. You just got to walk out there. I said, if we walk out there not pumped up and no oil, people take pictures. We look like shit. It doesn't matter. Get there now. I said, well, you know what? We're going to pump up. You go ahead and call our names. We're not coming. Please being difficult backstage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like Lee's like trying to rally the troops, and meanwhile he turns around and everyone's gone.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah. Me and all the guys
no
here
one
aren't
stood
going
there with
nowhere.
them, you know?
Like me and all the guys, we just go.
Yeah. All the guys were complaining, and then when Lee stood up to the promoters, everyone disappeared. He couldn't find anyone.
I couldn't tell you how many times I come up after. We agree with what you say, Lee. I'm like, why don't you stand with me? I will get in trouble. I said, if we all stand together, we all can't get in trouble.
Right. You're the show.
Exactly. All right. We're going to wrap this show up. Great job and congratulations to Ross Flanigin on the Cal Pro victory. He is going to the Olympia, and we'll have to see over the next couple of weeks if we see Sergio. Obviously, Tonio Burton already qualified for the Olympia from New York Pro, and will Stu Sutherland continue? Maybe we see Stu in Toronto come next week as well. I think he's got a great future in the sport, whether he continues or not. And what are you laughing about? You got something to say?
My wife crawling on her hands and feet, crawling up on the round corner, just like crawling on the floor.
You should have turned the camera. We don't want to look at you. Turn the camera so we can see what she's doing. Come on.
She's gone now. She's like crawling like she can't walk, so she's got to crawl along the floor.
She's doing the Swiss Army crawl.
I told her she put too much shit in the brownie. I said I had a piece and I was off with the birds. I'm like, fuck.
No. You got to watch those edibles. I heard they're very potent.
No.
Anyway.
Especially when you don't have them all the time. You just have them every now and then. Like I said, you feel it coming on. First with me, it always takes a long time to hit. So I'm like in that movie Wolf of Wall Street. I had some. I'm like, it's not working. I'll have some more. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm like, oh, fuck, too much.
It's not even working.
You're like, remember when he's trying to crawl out of his house, the Wolf of Wall Street, and he can't get to his car?
Oh, yeah.
That's you.
I like he goes, yeah, I drove home, didn't even damage the car. Then he looks at it, and it's total fucking write-off. And when he was trying to get into the car, remember, he's got his foot up to hold the door open.
Yeah. That was a great scene that he reenacted. Yeah. He's a good actor.
Deserved an Academy Award nomination just for that scene.
Absolutely. And as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
That's right. We'll see you guys next.